You know you're speaking the truth when YouTube hits you with a strike and removes your video. And that's what happened to my last Real Talk episode, where pretty much had the same title as this episode. And I was talking about Pride Month. And I said what I said. It is what it is. I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you guys can go check that video out because it is no longer on YouTube. So if you want to see what I said, you can go to the alternate platforms that I have. And I'm going to post 3 links to 3 platforms: Odyssey, BitChute, and Rumble. And I challenge you to go watch that video and tell me how I broke the terms of service, or whatever you want to call it, that YouTube has, the YouTube guidelines, right? And it's funny because I appealed it, and what they said I did was hate speech and incitement to violence. That's what they said. That's why they removed my video. So I appealed, and they denied my appeal. It said, after further review, whatever, we concluded that, yeah, you did violate our rules, which their rules are extremely vague and hard to understand. And I've been telling you guys for the last couple of months, it's hard for me to make content anymore on this platform because I don't know what the rules are. That's the truth. I don't know what I can and can't say. And for this to be an American company, and I'm assuming it's an American company, I am pretty certain it is an American company, to silence and remove speech, basically violating our amendments, right? Freedom of speech. It's it's so annoying. And I said amendments because they do both the first and the second. Because you can't show guns on YouTube either, or somebody shooting a gun. There's something like that. But they violate our Constitution consistently. And the way I feel is, if there's any company that operates in the United States and they violate any of our rights, they shouldn't be allowed to operate in the United States, or they should be forced to comply. Meaning they should allow our rights to exist on their platform, or they shouldn't exist in our country, period. And you know why I say that? Because they go to other countries and they have to follow those laws and rules of those countries. So how come they can't follow ours? And they're an American company. That's what makes no sense to me. I don't want to hear this bullshit about my private company. It's my private company. I could do what I want. I don't give a fuck. If you operate in the United States, you should abide by American laws. Definitely by the U.S. Constitution. That's the way I feel about it. And I don't care if you agree or disagree with what I said. That's what it should be. That's what needs to happen. I don't know why these companies are being allowed to get away with this shit. But then again, I do know why. Because we have a corrupt government, right? So it is what it is. But I'm not going to reiterate what I said in that video, because obviously if I say the same thing again, they'll hit me with another strike. And then I won't be able to upload for 2 weeks or whatever. So this is basically a part 2 to that video. I'm going to say a few different things, but mainly the point of this video is to let you guys know that I got that strike, and to go check it out on the alternate platforms that I'm going to link in the description below. That's the main purpose of this video. I want you guys to see what I said, and I want you to tell me how I said something wrong. And even, let's just say it was hate speech, right? Or whatever. Because hate speech is like, this is what bothers me about this hate speech shit, right? Everybody can allege hate speech, because there's always something somebody says to you that offends you or that you don't like. You can always find something to be offended about. And personally, me, I get offended by a lot of the things that are on the left, or the woke culture, or whatever you want to call that community, right? And I'm not sitting here crying about it and alleging hate speech. I'm just like, okay, you're going to say some dumb shit, I'm going to say something back to you. That's how I do shit, right? I don't cower away from anyone or anything. I don't bow down to anyone or anything. I don't run away. I don't cry about it. I'm not like, oh, I can't deal with this. This is too much for me. I face it head on, and then I deal with it. But the problem is that they have to protect these communities on the left, because if they don't, then all their ideologies will fall by the wayside. Meaning nobody's going to believe the shit on the left unless they're protected. So they have to protect these so-called marginalized communities, even though these communities are getting propped up and being favored more than any other community. They're getting special privileges, yet they're supposedly marginalized and attacked all the time, this, that, and the other, even though they're celebrated all the time and given all these special rights, right? So I talked about the rainbow community, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to say that. Oh, and by the way, this video is going to be just on YouTube. I'm not going to put this on another platform. So again, I'm going to say this again because I want you guys to understand, because I've done this before and people get confused. This video is to point you guys towards the other video that I made that got removed from YouTube. So you need to check the description below so you can see the video that got removed. And I want you to tell me what I said wrong. Even if it was hate speech, I don't care. What did I say that was wrong in the video? And the reason why it bothers me is because they always protect this community. They never let people say any, you can't offer any critique of this community whatsoever. Not even the smallest, tiniest critique of it. And it pisses me off because they know that once you start critiquing them and showing the holes in their arguments and how mentally deranged these people are, their whole group will cease to exist. Because people will be like, they're full of shit. We shouldn't be supporting this. It needs to end. That's what will happen. But anyways, as you see the title of this video, right? That's the way I feel. There should never be another month like that again. And I'm saying it again. I'm not going to say what month, but you know which month I'm talking about. Because YouTube is... I wish I could say everything I want to say on this platform, but I can't. But anyways, I am probably going to make another video about this topic. Maybe the next one, or I don't know, within the next week or so. Maybe the next video I make might be today. But I do want to elaborate further on that topic, because to me it's a very important topic, and it's something that people need to understand. They need to know what's going on in this world. They need to know the real truth of what this community is being used for. And it's not being used for give people equal rights and all that bullshit. That's not what it's for. It's being used to destroy humanity. That's what it's really for. But people think it's some equal rights, civil rights movement bullshit. That's not what it is. But anyways, so I'm going to really dig deep into that topic, but I'm going to have to do it outside of YouTube and really get into it. And I'm going to have probably another video like this where I'm going to be telling you guys, hey, go check out this video on this other platform, because YouTube's not going to let me say what I need to say. And that's the truth. That's how it is. I mean, someone like me, I can't be myself on this platform. That's the truth. I can't be me on YouTube. I have to be a facsimile, fake watered down version of myself in order to operate on this platform. And it really fucking pisses me off. And I've had other channels. It's always the same thing too. On all my old channels, I got hit with a strike on these other videos anytime I would mention this community, no matter what I said. Even if I was just slightly critical, just if I said one little thing about them, that video got hit with a strike. I couldn't say anything about them. And I'm not the only person that this has happened to, obviously. There are a lot of people that this happens to, but they protect that community to the death, because once people start to expose what's really happening, then you see how full of shit that community is, these social media platforms that protect them, our government that protects them, and anyone else that's standing with them. And I'm going to say this again. This is the only point that I'm going to reiterate from the last video. Well, I've said a few things, and I'm talking about the episode 22 that got removed. But the main thing I want to say is the biggest problem, it's not the community itself, even though they are a problem. It's actually the people that support them. that are not part of the community. You guys are the biggest problems because without you, they don't exist. Meaning they're not getting propped up. They're not getting put in people's faces. They're not getting celebrated. They're not getting forced down people's throats. That community would just hide in the corner like they used to, which is where they belong. And we wouldn't have to see them everywhere or hear about them or anything. But I feel like, especially this last June, people really did push back against them. And that was surprising. And it's still happening to this day. People are really getting tired of it. But if you're somebody that's not part of the community and you support them, you are the biggest problem. Because you're basically enabling them to be how they are. They're not fighting for equal rights. They have every right any other American has. They're fighting for special rights, special privileges. They want to get away with murder and do different things that other people can't do. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting to be better than everybody else. They're already equal with everybody else. Nobody cares about them. Nobody is stopping them from being the way they are. But they want to be in your face with it. They want you to accept their ways, and not just that, but they also want you to be like them. And if you're not, they start calling you all these slurs. And somebody said this too. I heard this recently. They don't have kids. They just want to convert your kids. That's how they work. Think about the evil that is. They don't have their own kids. They want to take your kids and make them like them. That's what they're doing. And until you people wake the fuck up and say enough is enough, and I mean everybody. I'm not talking about one or two people here and there. I'm talking about everybody needs to push back against this shit. Because it's a great evil. And the ones that run the world and control the world, the demons that I always talk about, they're the ones pushing this shit on everybody. They're the ones that they are this way. They're either genderless or they're about that life. They're about that alphabet community life. Those are the demons that run the world. That's how they are. That's their nature. So we're basically just supporting their habits and their way of being by supporting this community. But I'm telling you guys, if you want to stop what's going on in this world, all the evil and all the chaos, you have to face the reality of what's truly happening. Like I hear people say, oh, it's not the fault of the individual, it's the company. The companies that are doing this, the woke companies, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, first of all, it's both of their faults. Because the individual, you can't absolve adults from the things that they do and say, oh, they had no idea what they were doing. Yes, these people know what they're doing. And they revel in it. They enjoy putting this shit in your fucking face. Because they're mentally deranged. They're sick and twisted people. So they want to put this shit in your face. And they want you to celebrate them and prop them up and glorify them. That's what they want. They're attention whores. All of them. Everyone in that community. How do I know? Because everything about them is about their sexuality. And they're always putting it in your face. So that's how I know. It's that simple. If they weren't attention whores, they wouldn't be doing all this stuff all the time in everyone's face and letting you know how they are and what they are. No one cares, but they want to make you care, right? But also back to the companies. People need to really ask, because I hear people talking about Bud Light, this company, that company. Who is making these decisions at these companies that are causing these companies to go woke? Who is doing that? Because nobody ever asks these questions. Nobody says, who are the people in charge that are making these decisions? Who is deciding to put these weird people on cans and try to sell them to Americans and force them down our throats? Who made that decision? And then people are like, well, these people are getting fired. These CEOs are getting fired. People that are making these decisions are getting fired. And I'm like, no, they're not. The same people are still there. The people that approve these decisions are still there running the companies. So you think because they fired a few scapegoats, that means that the company's fixed and that the people that actually made the decisions are gone? No, The real culprits are still working at all of these companies. They're still there. And notice how every company does the same fucking thing. Don't you guys ever wonder about this? Why is every company in lockstep, in sync? They're all synchronized and doing the same shit. All supporting the same communities, doing the same, pushing the same agenda. Isn't that strange? And it's funny because they're all supposed to be individual, privately owned companies, yet they're all doing the same fucking thing. Why? Why do they all follow the same script? I could tell you why. I mean, it's easy for me. Like, I could see clear as day. It's because they're all being controlled by the same demonic entities that run the world. But people think, oh, it's just these companies. They want the GS score, whatever, the woke score, the social credit score, whatever that score is that people want. And I'm like, well, who made that? Who made a score where you have to be woke for your company to be successful? Who made that score? Who decided that things should be that way? That's what you guys don't ask. That's what you guys don't think about. You keep focusing on the fucking companies, but you don't think about who is behind the scenes pushing these agendas on humans. Because these are non-human agendas. They're unnatural, disgusting, non-human agendas that are being pushed on society and humanity. That's why most people don't accept this shit. That's why most people don't want it. That's why most people are pushing back against it. Because it's not normal. It's abnormal. Yet, people are still fooled into believing, oh, it's just some rogue company doing some rogue shit. They're just on their own doing. No, they're not. They're all working together. All the companies work together. All the countries work together. They have their theaters of war because it's a theater. It's a movie. All this shit is a movie. They have scripts that they're running. All the wars are scripted. All the companies have their orders, marching orders. They have to do this, this, and that. They have to push this and that. They have to sell you this and that. It's all the same. Meaning the same people are doing the same thing. They're all being controlled and run by the same thing. All the companies, all the countries, all of it. Being controlled by the same demonic entities. But you guys keep thinking, oh, is this country doing this weird thing by themselves? Why is Russia invading Ukraine? Why would they do that? Oh, it's just a mystery. No, it's not a mystery. But what is a mystery to me is why everybody keeps following these countries, these governments, and these companies and just letting them do what they do. Why? Why do you guys keep falling for this shit? Why do you guys keep believing in these people? You believe Donald Trump is going to save your ass? You think he's better than Biden? He's not. He's part of the script. Whatever Donald Trump does, he's being told to do. Just like Biden. Biden, it's clearly obvious Biden ain't running shit. But the point I'm trying to make is, you guys put too much stock in these humans and these companies, and you think they're the ones in control. Oh, it's some rogue person at a company decided to do this weird shit. No. They're being controlled by demonic entities. But anyways, I've said enough. I think you guys get the point. Check the description for the link to the original Real Talk episode 22. Okay? So you guys can see what I said. It's going to take you to one of the three platforms. One of my three platforms. So you can pick Rumble, Odyssey, or BitChute. Watch that video. And you can see why they gave me a strike. Because I spoke the truth. So anytime I speak the truth, I'm taking these strikes as a badge of honor. Because when YouTube gives you a strike, well, when YouTube gives me a strike, let me be very specific. It's because I'm speaking the truth. So I'm not like offended. I'm not like, oh, I said something wrong and I'm a bad person or whatever because YouTube struck me. I'm like, oh, I must have said something right. I must have hit the nail on the head too hard because they didn't want me to say that. And that's usually when they give me strikes. They've already given me 2 strikes on this channel. One was a warning and this last one. But whatever. I'm going to try to not talk about that certain community here. But if I do talk about them, I'll lead you guys to another platform that allows free speech. That's the way I'm going to say it. But anyways, If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.